So, in this video we're gonna talk about privilege escalation, in particular privilege escalation in an environment called Active Directory from Windows. Active Directory defines roles and policies for user in a network or system. This example could be easily compared to a web system. Firstly, we'll talk about what is privilege escalation. Privilege escalation is the action of take advantage or exploit a bug or a fault in order to gain elevated accesses or privileges and so gain access to protected file and informations. There are two types of privilege escalations, horizontal and vertical. Horizontal escalation is where the normal user gains the access to the information and environment of another normal user. Vertical escalation is where user gain access and information reserved for a higher privileged user. Before starting, we need to set up all three OS that we need to demonstrate this attack. We'll use Windows Server 2012 as a server with Microsoft Active Directory, Windows 7 Professional as a normal user, and Kali Linux as the attacker OS. All three OS will run as virtual machine. I'll use VMware. We have just configured the server and the user OS. On Kali Linux, we'll use a framework called Metasploit that will help us to enter in the user machine, and then we'll use John the Ripper to solve the hash for the password. Metasploit is based on a database, so firstly we can launch PostgreSQL from the command line. Then we can launch Metasploit. In this case, the user has installed Java version 6 that was vulnerable, and with the command info it explained me how does it works. I'll take advantage from this weakness using exploits that starts a web server which hosts this malicious code. When the victim visits the URL, he executes it. Before starting the web server, I need to set up the kind of target, the path of the malicious URL, the payload, that is the program you can execute, we'll use Meterpreter, which is a Kali tool, the IP address which we want the victim machine connects back to, and the port. In this case, we'll use the 443 port that represents HTTPS protocol. It seems so that the user will visit a simply HTTPS, so secure, page. Finally, we can launch the exploit. In order to achieve this kind of attack, we need that the victim downloads the malicious code. Most of the time, attackers use social engineering techniques. In this case, we send an email to the target acting the part of the company IT security team and tell him to update the system. The victim now will execute the exploit and will obtain a remote connection with him. With the command sessions -el, we can check the active connections. And so with Meterpreter, we could see the info of the system with this command. We can see that we are controlling a Windows 7 machine, and the process where we are running is owned by test user 1. We can see also which privileges has the user we control. Now we can launch the shell using the WMIC utility that analyzes all the security patches. We can see that the system isn't as updated as required. That is very dangerous. There's an exploit that uses this fault in the security patch that are not updated. So now we can launch it by the same as the one we have launched earlier. The result is a session with elevated privileges. That means that we have a full control of the system, including having accesses to all the local stored credentials. With the command creds, it displays clearly. Finally, with John the Ripper, that is a Kali tool, given a list of words, a dictionary, he can find what's behind the hash due to a brute force attack, so we can find all the password of the system. We have simply explained how a vertical privilege escalation attacks works, and now we'll see how to prevent it. Firstly, it's fundamental to keep system up to date, not only the OS security patches, but also the software installed. Secondly, and this matters also for web system, in order to prevent these attacks, we have to limit the number of domain admin accounts, not use domain admin account for standard use, and also create administrative groups with restricted access only to their competence area, so as to limit possible data breaches. Thank you for the attention.